Hi, I am Dr. Layla Doolittle, and today I'm going to show you a technique for activating the glymphatic system, the lymphatic drainage from the brain, and then also the lymphatics of the face to help with relaxation and then also clearing out any inflammation that may be there. And this is a technique for use if you do not have a gua sha tool with you. Gua sha is like the little, it's usually made out of crystal or stone, and it's shaped in certain ways. I do have videos for that too that you can follow along with. But this is a great technique to just use if you're out and about anywhere, or if you're traveling, or just don't have one on you at the time that you'd like to use this technique. I also like to simplify. You do not need a specialty oil or some expensive lymphatic boosting oil or anything. Just use organic olive oil. It's very nourishing for the skin. It's food for the skin. And you can pick this up anywhere. So we're just going to start with about a little teaspoon or maybe a little less in the beginning. Rub it under your hands. Make sure your hands are clean. We don't want to spread any bacteria onto our face. And then we just start by gently moving our hands outwards. So I'm going to kind of zoom in and show you that movement. So I'm cupping my pointer index finger up and around, starting right on that side of the nose, and then very gently bringing the fingers outwards. I'm not really pressing in, I'm just holding a small bit of resistance. And then I let my fingers kind of angle around my cheekbone and jawline. And then I come all the way up to the ear. And then once I finish at the ear, then I want to angle downwards towards the clavicle because that's where the lymphatics drain from the face down past the clavicle and into the lymphatic system to be excreted from the body, any toxins that may be there and processed, recycled. So we're just going to repeat that about 10 times. This is what it looks like if you're going on both sides. Make sure that you're not pulling on the tender little skin right under your eyes. This is, of course, where crow's feet or wrinkles or things like that can happen. And we just want to be very delicate with that skin. There's no need to pull and stretch the skin. We're just gently gliding all the way around to the ears. I like to angle behind the jawline at that arch of the jawline because that really creates a really nice angle, that right angle at the jawline. And then one other little technique you can add in once you're starting to get that movement is I also, on the bottom of my jawline, I am taking my thumbs out laterally and then those hook to meet my fingers and then come down. So I'm also tightening in my jawline at the same time. Let's just do, you can do anywhere from 10 to 20, just however many feels good. You'll kind of feel once that you get flush from the amount of inflammation. Some people that have a lot of sinus issues may have more, so it might feel good to go all the way up to like 30 passes, minimum of 10, but I usually go for about 20 or just until it feels right. And we just kind of continue and like very gently at the bottom, let that flush into the clavicles. So I'll kind of press into those clavicles just a little bit to let whatever fluid I'm flushing out just go ahead and drain into those clavicles. Sometimes I'll create a little like opening in those lymphatic vessels. So it's like, with your fingers, you can kind of like angle them. Your nails are out of the way. The nails are like sitting up on the clavicle. And then I'm just kind of gently like bouncing down, up and downwards, like superior, inferiorly, as well as a little bit of like a circle, maybe side to side. And that just opens up if there are any blockages there or any tension from our scalenes, anterior scaling muscles in the front of our neck, then sometimes those scalenes can block that lymphatic flush and flow. Mm. So once you finish out 10 to 20 of those, then we're going to angle with your opposite hand. We're going to just go ahead and tighten up our jaw lines a little bit more. So what that looks like is I'm starting at midline, pressing upwards, angling up and around the jawline. So I'm really coming in behind the bone of the mandible. And we're just angling all the way upwards. This one actually is pressing in a little bit more because at this point we're more working on the muscles and then also flushing any inflammation that can contribute to double chins and let that just flush down. The way that I kind of angle that towards my clavicle is like a hook. So see, it's like a J pattern hook almost. And then let that just flush down into that clavicle on that side and do at least 10 of these as well. And notice that I'll kind of like stretch to really allow myself to get up and under that jawline. And then I almost like move my head towards it to relax, to allow for these muscles, these scaly muscles to not be rigid up against that drainage pathway. So it's like that. Just a gentle little movement. I'll kind of follow the flow a few times so you can see how that works. And see how you can already tell how much that's tightened up that jawline. So then the opposite side, kind of like angle your shoulder forwards as well, just giving yourself more of that space for that lymphatic drainage. This also is so great for brain fog and cognition because you're actually helping the lymphatics of the brain. We call it glymphatics with a G, just so that the glymphatic flow of the brain can flush out whatever toxins may be present in the brain, any inflammation, any metabolites, neurotransmitters that need to get flushed out and cleared, proteins that have been used. Especially, this is wonderful to do both morning and night. I love in the mornings because then you have a very nice, tight, toned face for the day and no inflammation built up. And then also at night, I love to do this right after I finish brushing my teeth or doing my dental regime because what I do is whenever I open this, then you want to sleep ideally on your left side. That's been proven in the research to help with your lymphatic flow more, and especially with the glymphatic system for drainage. It also helps with digestion for the biliary ducts, bile ducts, etc. But for the lymphatics, it's great to make sure that you've opened up your lymphatic pathways right before you go to sleep. So your body get clear all night long because you detox the most at night, especially when you're going into very deep restorative sleep. All right, so now that's the jawline. You can already see the difference. You can even see the difference in my like cheekbones, right under my cheekbones, the zygomatic arch. Now we're going to work directly and under the eyes. This is great for eye bags. And so we're just going to take our fingers and gently kind of roll, create like a wave motion. And again, we're here working on this very delicate skin around the eyes. So be so gentle. There's not much pressure in here. You're more just kind of like rolling, almost walking your fingers out laterally with each wave pattern. We're just rolling in like a little U wave pattern all the way over. And it's like up on the ridge of the zygomatic arch that we're working, delicately working all the way around. And we're always angling upwards towards this part of our like temporal region. And you can go all the way up to your scalp for this one, just to kind of really get that fascia and the muscles to hold that upwards, like against gravity pull. It's like creating some really healthy, like weightless tension almost that helps your just anti-aging and looks good. So now, once you've done that, then that's going to allow that to continue draining. Now we're going to work right here, and this is going to be right in your like frown line. Ideally, we don't have frown lines because ideally we're always smiling and always happy. But if ever you have worry lines or concern lines or something, then we need to work on that. I'm applying a little bit more olive oil to this area. So just gonna create a little circle there and then come up over the forehead as we're gonna be working above the brows in just a moment. With foot excess I have, I'm just gonna roll that into my shoulders because you'll see we'll do some chest opening work in just a moment. All right, so now right here in your little worry lines, we do need to work on those ridges. So I'm just going to use the like hard structure of the um, lateral aspect, anatomically for standing lateral aspect of the digit 1 distal phalangeal joint. So we're just going to gently hold at our forehead because we don't need the lateral. We don't want to work into the ridges on that. We're going to work between the eyebrows. So I'm just gently using that side of the bone of my index finger to roll across the ridge. And you just do about 10 to 20 passes. This is one that does work better with gua sha, and it's just because that stone, especially if the stone has small little teeth on it, then it's able to really work into ridges well to help reduce the deep dermal aspects of the wrinkles. Now, for the forehead, we're going to hold half of our forehead and work on the ridges on one side. We're just being very gentle because we don't want to create a lot of pull here. We're just working into the ridges. So I'm doing this with the tips of my fingers. Ideally, your fingernails are short. Definitely, if your fingernails are long or you have fake fingernails, really you can't use this method. Instead, if that's the case, your modification would be like the back of your fingernails, your knuckles. But also fake fingernails or even getting your nails done quite regularly. That's ideally not that great because that's toxic. Almost all of unless you go to an organic salon, a lot of those things that they're using are very toxic. Anyway, so no. Okay, so the forehead, and then we're going to go to the opposite side, holding that other half of the forehead, working across the ridges. You can roll with your knuckles up and along and over it. Now, we're going to finish out by tightening the fascial tone upwards towards your forehead. This is one that actually looks really good if you can see one side worked before the other. So fascia has memory. So we're just coaching and encouraging the fascia directly up from like the lateral 2/3 of the eyebrow, like in that arch. I'm just bringing it upwards, holding for a moment as it really helps the collagen to tighten those adhesion proteins up against the forehead or like against my scalp region. So see the difference already just in raising the eyebrow on that side. So we're going to definitely even that out, of course. But that's what fascial memory has. So this is why this technique is so great in the mornings because it's almost like natural makeup. You're just setting yourself for the day. Sculpting your face aesthetically, naturally, obviously. Never, ever, ever use Botox. It's one of the most toxic things in the whole world. It's literally neurotoxic. All right, so we've done a great job there. Now, work into your chest region. So this, I love to make sure that I work on this anterior aspect of the shoulders because I don't like that little like puffiness that can happen around the bra or like in front of the arms. And that's just inflammation and also lymphatics from your axillary region and from your breast tissue that really needs drained. So work into that. So what we're going to do is raise one of our arms up and then just kind of like angle around your deltoid, cupping gently and then pressing in to bring that down and around that pectoral muscle, the insertion point. And you're just going to do about 10 passes here. And notice I'm also like coming directly in under the clavicle with my thumb, just kind of like angling in towards this thymus region. So now once we finish that, we're going to drop down our arm and relax it completely, and then use your knuckles to move around in a circle in that pec region, just flushing out any other lymphatic nodes that need to be flushed and cleared. Clear the lymphatic channel. Ladies, there is a technique that I'm not going to show you on this video, but I'm going to indicate it and you can do this on your own. After you finish that flush, we go down and around the breast tissue, cupping down and around just the same way with olive oil. And you're just doing like breast massage because there are a lot of lymph nodes around the breast tissue. And this is very important that you're flushing this out. And this helps to clear nodules, cysts, things like that, as well as clearing out excess estrogens, excess metabolites of hormones. This can help lead to or prevent like prevention of cancer and other types of things that we really need to make sure that we're flushing those lymphatics for, because that's exactly what happens whenever the cells create cancers. It's just toxins that have been built up, inflammation that's present, and then the cell malfunctions and creates a duplication in an improper way, which is cancer. So you prevent it by optimizing your lymphatic system so that we don't have to be concerned about that. So now we flush that area. Whenever you're doing this axilla flush, this pec flush, you can also like cup into the axilla to really get those lymph nodes to also drain. And then the same thing around. Now, for perkiness of breast tissue, this is perfect and important. I obviously will not show you right now, but I'm just going to indicate the way that you do it. So whenever you're activating the muscles of the pecs and you're moving them in specific ways, this actually helps to create a lift against gravity. It helps the fascial and the tension. So you're going to take both hands and work around, upwards, around in a circle like this with the oil, just around in a circle. There are some essential oils that you can add in to your carrier oil of olive oil, and they are very beneficial for helping blood flow and also helping with balancing some of the hormones in this area. So it can actually increase breast size, and then you're increasing blood flow to that region. So that's also going to help. You want to also go the opposite direction. So we've flushed inwards like that. Then we're going to flush the opposite way, like upwards and down on the side. So now that creates that perking and that lift. And then just message me about the essential oils, because the thing is we need to make sure that if you're pregnant, nursing, breastfeeding, you're not doing this ideally. Only some of this lymphatic massage can be very beneficial for preventing like inflammation or any infection in the mammillary ducts. What we need to do though is make sure that the essential oils that we're using are safe. And if you're pregnant, then you're not allowed to use these certain essential oils. We need to stay away from them. And then also, with essential oils, they are very informative to the brain. So certain essential oils are much better for certain people, especially it depends on anything about your past in your case. If you have any root causes or any autoimmune conditions, then we want to use certain oils over others. So message me if you'd like to get those essential oil lists, and I'll make sure I give that to you so you can add that into your carrier oil. All right, so that was the glymphatic drainage for the face, for your chest, for the pecs, the axillary region, and the lymph nodes around the breast tissue. I hope you enjoyed, and check out my other videos if you'd like to learn how to do gua sha, as well as other full body self massage techniques for lymphatic flow. Thank you for joining.